Welcome to Worldwide Business. I'm Kathy Ireland. Is it possible to combine elite glass design, functionality, safety, and aesthetics in building enclosure systems? Our guest today says yes. Joining us to share more on the design and installation of complex glass facades is Jeff Haber, managing partner of W&W Glass, one of the largest metal and glass companies in the New York metropolitan area and the largest supplier of structural glass systems in the country. Welcome, Jeff.
Hi, Kathy. Thanks for having me today.
Jeff, can you please explain to our viewers what glass enclosure systems are and the complexities of them?
Sure. Glass enclosure systems are really windows, storefronts, curtain walls, things that you would use to put on the outside of a building to protect the occupants from the weather outside and keep them safe on the inside. They run from the simple, like a storefront that you would find at a strip mall or a supermarket entrance, to the incredibly complicated that you would find skinning a high-rise skyscraper. It really runs the gamut.
Well, W&W Glass has a 70-year history in the metal and glass industry. How has this experience led you to provide superior solutions to the most challenging projects?
I think for us, the fact that our senior management team all combined is well over 200 years of experience in the industry, and we've seen all kinds of jobs, some good, some not so good, and we've learned how to manage these opportunities and we know what it takes to successfully execute on these projects.
Well, let's take a moment to discover the art and engineering behind W&W Glass in this Worldwide Business Field Report.
Architecture has always been a major influence in the design of a building. From unique building materials to one-of-a-kind design features, the buildings of today are not only works of art, but showcases for the companies behind the structure. W&W Glass LLC has been in the business of windows for the past few decades, but with any business, they have had to stay one step ahead of the marketplace by providing innovative window solutions to a growing demand of building designs.
The very first call that we make on a project like this is to W&W because of the complexity of not only the design, but the implementation. And there are three fundamental pieces of that relationship, and that's collaboration, innovation, and delivery. So once we have a concept of what the building would look like, how it would perform, and an idea of how we want to implement it, we work with W&W directly with the engineers and with their curtain wall manufacturers, such as Juan Speck of Soda Wall, on this job to find out exactly how we're going to attach the building to it, what the sequence is for preparing the building for it, the testing that is required for making sure that the building can sustain the new loads that we're imposing on it. And then we get into the glass types and the glass manufacturer and the profiles and the testing. And it is that intimate collaboration and back and forth on a daily basis with W&W that allows us to solve this problem.
The advanced logistical planning and staging of materials for 330 Madison Avenue was just as important as the design of the new exterior facade system itself. The early execution plan for 330 Madison was divided into two main groups. One was the technical aspect of anchoring the new facade to the existing structure, and the second focus was on logistics and how we were going to access all of the work areas solely from the outside of a busy occupied office building in the middle of Manhattan. These considerations go into all projects that we work on, large or small, renovation or new construction. Every project is important, and they must be analyzed individually and planned for accordingly.
So, Jeff, there's nothing quite like a well-executed glazing installation that seems to work well with light and space to really create the energy of a room or building. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in the industry?
You know, it's interesting. Right now, we're seeing a trend where everything is going bigger. Bigger, bigger, bigger. Bigger pieces of glass, bigger openings, larger unsupported spans. Some pieces of glass that we're seeing are 50 feet long, individual pieces, which bring a whole different level of complexity into how you build
Right.
these facades. It requires a tremendous amount of logistical planning that is totally different than what we've been doing for a long time. So there's been a little bit of a learning curve there. A lot of architects and designers are using curved glass now. I think as cities are getting denser and buildings are getting tightly packed, they're trying to soften the corners of them. They're using curved glass, which is more readily available. And I think from an energy standpoint, we're seeing the use of dynamic glazing electrochromic glass, which is a self-dimming glass, which allows an owner to have more energy efficiency out of his windows, create more comfort for the occupants because the glass will actually get dim from the reaction of the sun. So it's the use of technology in glass has really come a long way.
Wow, that's wonderful. And what services do you offer your clients that not only keep you on trend, but help you to stay ahead of the curve?
You know, having our own design and engineering group is really a key to making all of these jobs happen. You know, we start off on a project where an architect provides us with a rendering of a vision of what they think the job wants to be. We then take that, we apply all of the different loads that the facade has to withstand, whether it's wind or seismic or blast or what have you, take all that into account and try to come up with something that works to meet the design criteria, but also meets the design intent. So it's a balancing act, and it works out that we get to have great collaboration with the design team in getting to that point.
Right. And Jeff, what unique characteristics go into the design and installation of the various building enclosure systems that you offer?
So the unique characteristics that we bring to the table, aside from design and engineering, is we've aligned ourselves with a lot of very high quality fabricators that are all best in breed in their particular specialty, whether it's glass, metal fabrication, steel, painting, finishing, etc. So we bring those pieces of the project together. We work with the design team, and then our installation crews, which are very well trained, the most experienced in the city, allows us to really take a holistic approach to these projects and bring out the best attributes that are available for these projects to be installed and give the client what they've ultimately asked for.
What have been some of the most challenging projects that you've worked on?
You know, some of the most challenging jobs that we've done is where we've had to come up with elaborate rigging systems where there was no access to install the work. Sometimes we've had to come up with a really interesting way to set jumbo glass on Fifth Avenue in the middle of the night because you can't get a street closing permit. And there's a giant sidewalk shed that everybody's seen if you walk around any city. And you've got to fish these giant pieces of glass inside of the shed with 30 people trying to hold the weight of the glass. So unique rigging applications, different types of glass where we've had digital print that creates an art mosaic. We did a job at a hospital in Harlem that had 400 pieces of glass, and every single piece had a different pattern on it. So we had to carefully make sure that we marked and labeled every piece so that when it was built, it looked like a mural. But as you were building it piece by piece, you couldn't tell what you were installing. So that was extremely challenging for us.
And Jeff, can you talk about your artistic side? How do you respond to customer requests and create a masterpiece?
It's a lot easier said than done, to be honest with you. You know, we really try to understand and listen to what the client wants. We're bound really only by the bounds of engineering and the client's budget. So there's almost nothing we can't do if they're willing to afford it. So what we try to understand is what's their design intent, what are the budget parameters, what's the schedule implications, all the things that go into a project. And we try to bring our experience, our vendors, our high quality fabrication experts to that job and try to satisfy them in a way that other people probably can't.
The experience of our project management and field staff on recladding projects over the last 10 years has enabled our team to try to get ahead of typical issues that arise when you begin to remove the facade of a building and install the new exterior skin on top of the existing structure.
Well, several of the most notable projects W&W has worked on in the New York City area are the Rose Center Planetarium at the American Museum of Natural History in Central Park, AOL Time Warner Center, the custom glass fin facades at Brookfield Place, the cable tension walls at 1 Bryant Park, and Alice Tully Hall at Lincoln Center. A few other of my favorite New York City projects are the crystalline unitized curtain wall system at 400 Park Avenue South, the double skin climate wall facade at the Milstein Heart Pavilion at New York Presbyterian Hospital, NYU Langone Medical Center, and the East River Science Center buildings.
What kinds of product options and design choices do W&W clients have?
They really have a wide range of options and choices. They can choose from any type of glass that they want to use in these systems. We can use different types of backup structures. Sometimes they're aluminum, sometimes they're steel. Sometimes they're going to be more expressive and they're going to be more highly finished or thinner or smaller. Sometimes they want something bigger and heavier to show size and strength. So they really have a wide range of options of all the products within the industry. We just try to make sure that we're using the highest quality of any of those products so that we know that we're going to be able to deliver on what we've promised.
So W&W seamlessly combines the art of glass work with precise engineering. How does your design and engineering department help you give your clients that beautiful window structure?
You know, we're extremely lucky that we've got a bunch of very smart and talented people working with us in our organization. And we're able to offer them, whether it's renderings or proposal drawings or details, or sometimes we'll make a model and we'll try to give them a sense of what they can have. And we try to create a collaborative environment with the design team. We don't want to do it in a vacuum. We want to make sure we're being responsive. And that back and forth, it's really a great opportunity for us to show the skill set that we have and help everybody get to where they want to go on the project.
You're leaders in this industry. What is key to your success?
I think key to our success is understanding that the customer has to come first. I think customer service is something that people take for granted. You know, when you get busy, you always assume there's going to be another job. For us, we want to satisfy our customers. We want to do high quality work. We want to work in a safe environment. So all of those things, if you keep that in your mind as you're going about these projects, you tend to be successful. I mean, obviously you've got to try to avoid the mistakes, but mistakes happen, but it's how you react to them and overcome them is what separates people who are successful from those that aren't.
Right. And would you say that was a foundation that was laid by your dad and your uncle?
Absolutely. New York is a tough place to work. It's a tough place to grow up and live. However, it's very fair. The people that we deal with are very fair. And if you make a promise and you live up to it and you do what you say you're going to do, you'll have no problem.
Right. Jeff, tell us about the Pilkington planar system.
So Pilkington Planar is made by Pilkington in the UK. They're the company that invented the float glass process, which is the way that about 95% of all the glass on Earth is made right now. And they started this product back in the early 1960s as a way to apply glass onto a building skin without using mullions. The product has evolved in many ways over the past 40 or 50 years. And it's really an engineered piece of glass. And the glass is it's made with holes in it, and then we're able to secure the glass to the building with countersunk stainless steel fasteners, and that eliminates frames, mullions, and other things that you would see on windows and curtain walls. So it allows the client to have a much more transparent application of their facade system.
And the Pilkington planar system allows for a high degree of flexibility and customization. Can you translate this into what a client sees when they choose it for their building?
Absolutely. You know, we think of the Pilkington planar system as a cladding system. It's an opportunity to apply glass to something. It's the something is where the architects and the facade consultants and the engineers get to have their fun. They get to be more expressive. They can have different layers of the backup structure, whether it's a glass fin type of system or a vertical piece of steel. Maybe it's a tube, maybe it's a bar, tension structures, lightweight stainless steel cables, things of that nature, which really allow designers to be more expressive with the way that the system is held up as opposed to traditional aluminum systems.
W&W Glass LLC customizes each property with design and safety in mind. They are the exclusive distributor of Pilkington Planar throughout North America, which is one of the leading structural glass systems being used by some of the most recognized architectural firms in America today.
W&W and Pilkington have been partners for over 24 years. In those 24 years, we have installed over 2,000 projects throughout North America. We have used everything from glass fins, steel structures, cable systems and rod systems like you see here at 601 Massachusetts Avenue. They were the best solution for this project because they brought their engineering to the table and their experience in both supply and design and gave us exactly what the architect and design team desired.
Is there a project for which you are most proud?
I think the project that I'm most proud of is the Hayden Planetarium at the American Museum of Natural History. It's called the Rose Center for Earth and Space. And it's a 100-foot tall glass cube that encapsulates a sphere that acts as the planetarium. And it was the first of its kind in North America. It's 2 walls that are 120 feet long. It's an iconic structure. It'll be there forever. Everyone who goes by the museum near Central Park West, they see it. And it really taught us a lot about how these systems work and that really elevated our game to the big time. So it's definitely holds a special place for all of us.
Congratulations
Thank
on
you.
that. And lastly, Jeff, how is W&W Glass aligning itself for the future?
So between my brothers and I and my cousin, we've really made a conscious effort to try to hire some younger people. It's not easy to find people who are willing to work in our industry in New York City, but most people want to gravitate to working for the best companies. And we're always looking for more people, whether it's project managers, engineers, back office support, installers. We want to create an environment where people want to grow and thrive with us.
Well, Jeff, with more than half a century of experience in this industry, it's clear why developers, owners, and contractors continue to enlist W&W Glass to get the job done year after year. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Thank you. For Worldwide Business, I'm Kathy Ireland. Thank you for watching.